Right. All right, well, give us the show, my friend. Okay. And this mic is a little fussy, so you guys just talk loud.
Okay. I'll just skip the mic then.
Good.
So we spent the last 3.5 years sailing around the world, and this whole trip began when I was about your age. I read a book by Robin Lee Graham called Duff about a young boy who sails around the world on an old beat-up sailboat, and I thought that sounded like a lot of fun. So when I was your age, I started saving my allowance, and I went to college and got a job, and for about the same price as a nice used car, I bought that boat. Now, any of you guys ever want to own a car? Okay, we got a couple here. Now, you can change your mind, and you can buy a boat just like that. And your parents are going to hate me for telling you this, but you can buy a boat like that. It's a 1978, so it's very old, but the fiberglass boats are very strong, they last a long time, and they're very inexpensive to maintain relative to a lot of other designs. So we bought this boat, and we spent about a year learning how to sail. Kara had never been sailing before, so I stuck her on that boat, and we went out into the bay a few times, and then she decided she was ready. And I forget which slide I have next. But so we didn't really mean to sail around the world. The first thing we did is we went down to Mexico, and just along the coast, because I thought if the boat sank, maybe we could swim to the beach. And luckily the boat didn't sink, and we had a lot of nice places. This is San Juanico in Mexico. There's a nice right sand point break there. A couple of commercial fishing boats and surfboard on the beach, and we stayed in Mexico for about 3 months. And when we decided that everything was going well, we sailed off into the Pacific. And this is our trip to the South Pacific. Took 25 days with no land. And on that 25 days, we saw nothing but clouds and a single boat. We saw a tuna boat, and that was it. And we went there, and we were greeted with this. This is the Marquesas, which are a little-known island group in French Polynesia, and beautiful, rocky, and lots of other boats. It's very popular, very beautiful. Here's another island in French Polynesia. There was nobody on this island. It was totally deserted. And about this time, I was feeling pretty good about my decision not to buy a car and to buy a boat instead. So we hung out there for about 3 months and felt our way across the South Pacific, which is a great ocean, has lots of islands, very beautiful places to go, and then down to New Zealand, where we had some beautiful anchorages and also some scary wind. They've got lots of wind in New Zealand, but it was great. We stayed there for a year, and we went surfing and got little jobs and things like that. After that, we went up to New Caledonia, which was pretty nice as well. There's Kara rowing the dinghy in. The boat's just off the frame there. And then we went to Australia. We went around the bottom of Australia, and we had some nasty weather down there, but the boat was fine. My parents were probably quite worried, but that was good fun. And this is the very bottom of Tasmania, which is a little island off the very bottom of Australia. This is looking south, so you can't see it, but if you couldn't have supervision, you would see Antarctica just in the back there. And this is all harbor you can sail around in here, and there's nobody around. There's no roads. There's a dirt airfield, which occasionally a bird watcher comes through to see one of the endangered parrots that live way down there. There's only about 30 of them left on the planet. So we got to see some of those. That was nice. We had to hike up a great big mountain for this picture. I'm not sure it was worth it. I almost died because I'd been sitting on the boat for months and months, and all my muscles had turned to goo. Then we went across the Indian Ocean, and there's a couple islands there that were nice to visit. There's some waterfalls. The swimming was pretty chilly. We went to South Africa, and there were lots of animals. I guess I should have included more animal pictures. We saw this zebra. We also saw lions, and we saw elephants and giraffes, and water buffalo, and warthogs, and everything else. Now, it's very interesting in South Africa because they have these game parks, and you go in, and animals are just living in their wild, and they've got electrified fences to keep the lions from escaping into the nearby suburbs. But other than that, they just go about their business. And when we were driving around the great big park, we didn't see any lions because they're kind of hard to see. They're the same color as the grass. So to make up for it, we went to a different place where they just let you take your rental car, which we rented the car so we could get to the park, and you drive in through this gate. And the gate's about 35 feet high, and all the fences, and it's got electric wires on top, and you're kind of wondering, why does this fence need to be so high? And then we were driving towards the fence, and on the side, there's a sign that says, make sure you lock your doors and don't stop the car. And you go into this pen, there's about a dozen lions, and they're all really angry with you because you're in there and you're bothering them, and they're stuck in this pen with you. And they roar at you, and then you flee, terrified. And after you survive, you say, oh, that was really great, I'm glad we did that. But just felt lucky to get out of there alive. So South Africa was great. Culturally, very challenging. There's a lot of racism there that hasn't really been resolved yet. Here we're all, several hundred years past all that. Maybe not even 100. But there it's just brand new, and it's still a very hard time. After that, we went up, and we go across here, and since this is flat and not round, we come out over on this side. We went to the Caribbean, which was nice. This is the British Virgin Islands. Very popular sailing destination. And beautiful diving, but it's pretty crowded. The Caribbean is so convenient and warm and nice that there were a lot of other boats. There you see two. After that, we went through the Panama Canal, and this is what it looks like after you've gone down into the Pacific. That's the final locked gate there. And to get up over the mountain range, you go through 3 chambers, and they raise the water up. The boat floats up, and then you go across, and then on the other side, they drain the water up, and you go down. And so this is what it looks like at the very end, after the water's drained out, and the Pacific is just outside those gates. From there, we're now over here. We sailed out to Hawaii, had a brief visit, and now we're up in Alaska. And that was the summer. Right now it'll all be snowy. And I think it was 9 degrees there just the other day. 9. That's the end of the trip so far. Any questions? Yes?
Did you sail back here or just leave your boat there?
The boat is in Alaska. I came down for Thanksgiving to be with my mom. Yes?
That's cool.
When you were doing all that sailing, did you ever lose track of time?
Yes, definitely. When you're at sea and every day is the same and you're just looking at the same sky, the same horizon, nothing changes, it feels like you're living the same day over and over again. So when we were going from Panama to Hawaii, we were 47 days at sea. We didn't see anything, and it felt only like a couple days because you just lose track of time. Yes?
How long did it take?
The whole trip took about 3.5 years.
That's 900.
Yes, I really like sailing and I like living on the boat. It's a very inexpensive lifestyle. You can pay no rent because you live and you're anchored, and you can do a lot of fishing, and it's kind of very in tune with the weather, very natural, very low impact. We hardly burn any fuel, and it's a lifestyle that I think we really enjoy. Yes? Keep ourselves entertained. We read a lot of books. We read tremendous amounts of books. We go through a 300-page chapter book in 2 days sometimes. And the sailing was nice. Yes. Nice. Well, someone reads a lot faster than I do. Well, the eating was a little bit of a trick. The problem with my boat is that it's very inexpensively set up, so we didn't even have refrigeration. So we had a lot of cans, we had a lot of potatoes, we had a lot of noodles. We would catch fish, which was nice. Cabbage lasts quite a while unrefrigerated. Eggs last quite a while. Citrus fruits like oranges can go about a month or maybe even 2. So you had to be selective, but you could eat quite good. Yes?
Some days where you'd just be at sea, how would you have to know you're going the right way?
Well, that's the great thing about technology today is that we have GPS, which is free to use for anybody as long as you have a receiver. And GPSs are very, very cheap.
Okay, if you want to ask more questions, I think you guys are going to be in the library talking about it. Hey, let's give a nice round of applause.